Welcome to our community. Susie Thomas with you this morning. Happy to welcome Stacy Jackson from Gigis Playhouse. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Gigis Playhouse is such an exciting new addition to our community. So first of all, tell me what it is, Stacy.
Gigis Playhouse is a network of nonprofit Down syndrome achievement centers. Started in Chicago about 15 years ago. We just opened our Canton location here in the Belton Village area just a little over 2 months ago on April 28th. So we provide free programming with a purpose to individuals with Down syndrome of all ages.
It's amazing.
Yes.
All right. So it takes something to get one to come to your area because this is a national network.
Yes.
So there had to be some kind of groundswell of support. Tell me how this all came about.
Definitely. Just a little over 2 years ago, we had a mom, her name is Christina Zigabud, who had a daughter with Down syndrome. She was 2 years old, who just really wanted support. And she looked everywhere and found out there really wasn't much in her area. And then she heard about Gigis Playhouse. And the closest one to us is in Cleveland, in the Lakewood area. And it's a really great location. They have tons of support, but it's a little over an hour away and not very realistic for anyone in the Canton or Stark County area to travel there. So she put in an inquiry to open one in Canton and then had a meeting and just put it on Facebook. Anyone interested in joining me and trying to open a location here in Canton? Show up at Panera on the Strip at this time on this date, and myself and about 8 or 9 other parents showed up.
Wow.
And that's when we decided, okay, let's put in our application. And that was a process. The national office at Gigis Playhouse had to, check to make sure that there was a market here for that there were enough individuals with Down syndrome and that there wasn't any other kind of service similar to Gigis Playhouse in our area. So we passed all those checks, and then the next feat was to raise over $100,000.
Now, that's not a small feat.
No, it wasn't. So we really started with a bank account with $0 and just, worked really, really, really hard to raise that money. And our community is just amazing. The way that they all came together and supported us and showed up at our fundraisers and wrote checks. And it just truly is just very heartwarming to see their support. And I have a daughter with Down syndrome too. So of course, I've never been a part of anything that I've been so passionate about. So it's just, I love it. I just love it.
Tell me about the grand opening. What was that like?
The grand opening was incredible. We had, we don't have an official count, but I'm sure over 500 people showed up.
Wow.
And our location is just over 4,000 square feet, but no way did they all fit in there. So, we had tons of stuff going on outside. We had a DJ and food trucks and face painting and characters walking around. And then people would go in and out of the Playhouse just touring the facility. Nancy Gianni, the founder of Gigis Playhouse in Chicago, and her daughter Gigi herself came for the grand opening. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Do they do that to all
they
grand
do.
openings?
They do.
My goodness.
We are the 44th to open.
My goodness.
And there's 46 right now. So just in the last 2 months, 2 more have opened.
Wow.
And Nancy and her daughter Gigi make it a point to go to each one.
It shows the need, doesn't it?
Yes.
If within that many months, that few of months, that you're seeing these spring up everywhere.
Yes. So it was a dream come true. It was just so exciting to be there and be a part of it. And
tell me about the kids and how they enjoyed the activities available. Tell me about your daughter at the opening. What did she think?
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. We had a DJ and everyone was dancing and playing and having fun. And our location has a large multi-purpose room with a foosball table in it and toys and activities for all ages. And then there's little rooms that go off of the multi-purpose room that are, kind of earmarked for certain purposes. One-on-one literacy tutoring, one-on-one math tutoring. We have a full kitchen, and a game room and a room with video games for some of the older individuals who come. So everyone was just exploring all of those areas and playing, and I think everyone was pleasantly surprised with how big it was and how much there was to offer, and the fact that it's 100% free.
Yes.
People don't pay a dime to come in and use our facilities, and it's open throughout the week. Individuals and their families can come at during those open hours and just hang out if they want to. And then we have scheduled programs throughout the week also for all individuals with disabilities or with Down syndrome. Anyone can come. doesn't matter what your disability or ability. Everything is tailored specifically for those needs of someone with Down syndrome.
How in the world do you begin to meet the needs of all ages? That's got to be tricky as far as what kinds of things are available, what programs to offer.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yes. Well, we have our Crawlers and Walkers program is for targeted for the needs of children from ages 1 to 5. And we are so lucky to have a program coordinator who is a pediatric physical therapist. And she loves her job, and I think she loves Gigi's maybe even a little bit more. But
is she a volunteer?
She is a volunteer.
Everyone.
We have everyone is volunteers except for our one site coordinator that we just hired right before grand opening. But everyone else volunteers hundreds of hours, thousands of hours since we've started this process. And we are just so lucky that she is there coordinating and running these programs. And so the Crawlers and Walkers focuses on gross motor skills, fine motor skills, speech, all within just a 1 hour playtime pretty much, but it's structured. And Hillary, she's our program coordinator. She comes up with these programs she gets guidance from the national office, suggestions, but she takes those suggestions and just goes above and beyond with those. And so that's the Crawlers and Walkers program that just started last Saturday, and my daughter was able to participate in that.
How old is your daughter?
She'll be 3 in just a few weeks.
Well, let's talk about these. Let's really zero in on this.
Yes.
What kinds of fun games and everything do they have her doing to develop speech and coordination and so forth?
Well, at the Crawlers and Walkers program just on Saturday, the theme was animals, and we did some animal yoga that helped with core strength toning, lots of stretches, some dancing and singing, storybook, and then kind of copied the movements and the sounds of the animals. Hillary had our kids clean off toy dinosaurs that were covered in pudding.
What?
So lots of sensory stuff with that. I know the parents were like,
that was intentional.
Okay.
They were covered with pudding.
Yep, she covered them all in pudding and then had the kids take the animals and wash them in a tub of soapy water.
And nobody was tempted to lick it off?
Oh, no, not to lick it, but there were a few that were thrown. My daughter likes to throw things. Sure. But so that was like the sensory part of it. And so the kids just had a lot of fun. And also for the parents to be able to network and to communicate with each other and just support each other through this journey that we're on too.
I think that's got to be an important part of it, yes, and probably gives you some ideas of things to do at home. Yes,
and that's the other thing too. We all took home an accountability sheet where we wrote down a goal that we had for our child, and each day we track, did our child meet that goal? And so it's not just come and play for an hour one day a week. It's let's make up some goals for our kids with the help of the program coordinator and track those throughout the week.
I think the part I love about your name the most is the part that says Achievement Center.
Yes.
That it's really focusing on what a person is able to do.
Yes.
Tell me about that what you see happening there already, even in just these short couple of months as far as achievement.
We just start where each individual is, and just the purpose is to progress from there. And whatever that might look like, just continue to move forward and to embrace who they are, where they are, and also to promote acceptance of all is huge. And not just people with Down syndrome, but everyone. And that's just another big part of Gigis Playhouse, and is just promoting that acceptance of everyone. And that's just huge, I think, for our county right now. And I think our volunteers who come in, not only do they feel good about, helping people, but they also feel accepted and have a purpose. And I think just having that ability to provide that opportunity to our community, not just to our individuals with Down syndrome, but to the volunteers, that they get a lot out of this as well.
Families get it, because I've heard countless families say that this child added so much to our family.
Yes.
Besides, along with their other siblings that might be progressing along what more would be expected. Talk to me about now, is your daughter your only child?
No, she has 6 brothers.
Oh, my. Let's talk about that, how they embrace her, and how are there things at Gigi's for them to do as well?
Yes. She has 6 older brothers. The oldest one is in the Army. He's in South Korea right now. But we have 5 at home, 10 and under. And they have sibling programs. We don't have anything started just yet. But when someone comes to a program at Gigi's, their brothers and sisters come too. And they can participate alongside their sibling, or they can go and, hang out in another room or hang out with some of the other siblings. And Christina's daughters, actually, they are, I think, 8 and 10 years old right now, and they've already been very vocal about starting a sibling group, and that's just really important, I think, for everyone, because a lot of individuals with Down syndrome do come with sometimes extra medical conditions that require extra doctor's appointments or more therapies. And, I think a sibling could feel a little left out. So having those extra things for the siblings and for them to support each other is very important, and we definitely recognize that.
We're seeing more and more families adopting children with Downs, and were there some folks like that you do you have?
Oh, definitely. Our past president, Sarah Heckert, she was one of the strong leaders in this movement and, opening Gigi's in Canton. She just stepped down a little bit because her and her family are going to China this month to go pick up, to bring home their daughter, who is 3 years old and has Down syndrome from China. So, and that will be their second that they have adopted with Down syndrome.
So that sort of dispels that myth that these children are unwanted in any way. That is a complete falsehood. And we want that known that that's just a complete falsehood. Don't we, Stacey?
Yes, definitely, for sure. I think every parent I've ever met, we all feel just extremely lucky and blessed to have the children that we have.
Yeah. Talk to me about how those brothers get along with their sister, and I'm sure a little protective of her as well.
Our boys are very active and very rough with each other, but not with Malia, their little sister Malia.
Wow.
They dote over her. They fight over her. We just had a conversation not that long ago about who might want to live with her when she's older, and they all started fighting over that. Right. They all want to live with Malia when she's older. And, all boys, one little girl, so she's already the princess.
Yeah.
But I don't think they see her any different than they would if Malia did not have Down syndrome. I really don't. Malia was in the hospital the first 5 months of her life, so that was hard on the whole family.
Yes.
And I'm just thankful that, that they don't feel any kind of resentment towards that. We worked really hard on trying to make sure they were involved, and they like to read to her and play with her, and they want her to go with them everywhere they go. So, yeah, all our kids are awesome.
Pretty cool. Well,
yes.
Thank you for the service. You're also a military mom, so
yes.
Thank you so much for that.
Yes.
Yeah. Phew. You do need volunteers.
Yes.
What kinds of things do volunteers do? It sounds like they do everything.
They do everything.
Let's
That's true.
Talk about the whole gamut.
Yes. Well, we have our board, which is about 10 people, and the people on the board are a lot of our leaders, but we also have like Hillary. She's our program coordinator. She's not on the board right now, and because she just wants to focus on those programs. So you don't have to be on the board to be a leader, to have a leadership role. I know that we really need someone to write grants.
Okay.
We're all just kind of just trying to do everything, so it's nice to have people who can just focus on one or two things. And, so Hillary focuses on programming. We have a volunteer named Jade who focuses on recruiting volunteers and training them. Our next volunteer training is July 11th at the Playhouse from 6 to 7:30. And if anyone's interested in volunteering, they would just go to our website, www.gigisplayhouse.org/Canton, and click on volunteer and just fill out a few questions. And those questions will kind of guide someone into knowing what kinds of opportunities they are.
So you help fit them.
Yes, yes. But really whatever they want to do, we'll say, yep, come on in.
Whatever you're good at,
yes.
We can use you.
Yes, they can help with programs. They can help with events. If they just want to come in and help clean up the Playhouse, that's always needed. To wipe down toys or wipe down cabinets or to, vacuum. That's hugely appreciated. Calling parents, letting them know more about Gigis Playhouse, sitting at a table at a some kind of fair and just spreading the word that's needed. Our next fundraiser, coming and helping out at the fundraiser. There's just countless opportunities for volunteers.
We're visiting with Stacy Jackson. She's from Gigis Playhouse. Going to take a short break. We'll be back after these words. You're listening to Our Community.